Okay, so let's kick off. So firstly, a big welcome to everybody, and a big welcome to the next in the series of Smart Society webinars. These webinars are really for economic development professionals, anyone that's involved in the economic development process, or anyone that's involved in really supporting businesses through either local authorities or different organisations. And it's an opportunity for us to look at what's happening in the marketplace, what businesses need, and some different areas like that. And I think we've covered a number of different areas, particularly around things like digital marketing, areas that businesses are interested in, what sort of issues that businesses want, how support works, and these are the sorts of subjects that we're focusing on, with an idea that we want to kind of work together as a community with economic development professionals to try and become as effective as possible and give businesses the support that they need. And I think one subject that keeps coming up again and again is AI. And so the subject of this session is really to look at AI. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeff Baxter. So I'm the MD of Smart Society, and so I'll be hosting this event. I'll give a quick introduction to our main speaker, Laura, in a second. But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit at first about our journey with AI. Smart Society, we're a small business, and I think this is a really good opportunity to kind of outline where we've got to with AI. And I think that it highlights that just really using a few of the tools has had a big impact on us and our ability to deliver services. So when I think about talking, about AI and whether is it a competitive advantage, I think, if for businesses that aren't using AI, there is a really big opportunity around this. So, so it's definitely worth thinking about. And so the journey for us is actually around the grant administration services. So we provide business support services primarily to local authorities. We also run grants for local authorities and for some government departments. And one of the areas that grants, the big focus around grants has been supporting applicants who have additional needs, and particularly around neurodiversity, I think is an area where grant schemes that they struggle to be able to support people with different needs. So I was having a discussion with another organisation that we work with in the grants arena. We were talking about how we could use AI within that, and we were talking about all sorts of wild and wonderful things, looking at how we could assess grants using AI. But one of the very basic ways of how we could use AI is supporting people and helping them with the question set. And so we've recently run a grant scheme where we offered a standardized interview, which we used a note-taking app called Otter. Otter's quite a well-known AI app. And what that does is we went through each of the questions that the applicant would need to answer. We expanded those questions and we got the applicant to talk through that. We then provided them with the transcript. And whilst we didn't actually sort of say this, what the applicant could then do was to then put it into one of the large language models, so ChatGPT being one of those, and effectively ask it to create an answer to that question within the word limit. And so what that means is that applicants that perhaps are intimidated by creating the questions, or just really don't have the ability to do that, maybe their English is not their first language, this is something that can level the playing field for them. And that is groundbreaking, because that is an issue that has been facing the grant making community for probably the last 20 years and has been a real challenge. And it's been the reason why the organisations and the people that get grants are those that are the best at applying for it. So this is something that actually can really help people. And yes, there are definitely some issues around that, and around the thinking about how that's about some of the ethics around it and the challenges, and whether those answers are going to be correct. But I think the overarching piece here is that AI definitely is going to be something that's going to help individuals and organisations for in a whole different series of ways, and that's just a really good example. So, from our point of view, we absolutely see AI as an area which economic development departments need to be thinking about in terms of their support programs. So I think we'll talk through that a little bit at the end. But I think that lots of local authorities are offering some fantastic support in terms of digital marketing, in terms of general marketing, in terms of how to create content, in terms of startup business courses, and I think that that's a really positive step forward. But I think over the last 12 months, there's been a real driver for an introduction into AI and understanding how businesses can start to actually leverage AI, and that's something that I think has been a really big opportunity. So it's an area that we have now recently launched our first AI business support program, and that's something that I'll talk to you a little bit about the end. And one of the mentors that is part of that AI program is our speaker today, and that is Laura Tatton. And Laura is a really interesting professional working with AI. She's got a background in marketing and PR, but has been working in AI over the last few years, and I think is able to kind of span that really difficult gap between the kind of technical world of AI, and then actually the businesses that are going to use that. And many of the businesses that local authorities support, digital is definitely an area that they feel either intimidated by, or it's an area that they're not comfortable with. And I think mentors like Laura are going to be able to help them to take steps forward in terms of that. So, without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Laura, and hope that introduction was okay, and hand over to Laura to tell us all about AI.
So I'm just going to share my.
Laura, I think you're going to need to up your if you're muted or.
That's working.
Okay, just to check, Vicky, can you hear Laura? Okay.
Yeah, speaker microphone's on.
Okay, I think we'll have to crack on, Laura. So yeah, I think you're very quiet. So what we'll do is if you continue, and then we'll try and just fiddle around with the sound to get that sorted.
I need to be able to share this.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. I think we can hear you. We can hear you a little bit better now. So yeah, you'll have to lean close to the mic.
Go, so can you enable the screen sharing for me?
Sure. Yeah, I will do. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, we're all good.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, off you go.
Right. There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura, and I am a PR and marketing consultant, and have been doing this for around 20 years now, and then recently adopted an interest in artificial intelligence and how it could help me and my agency be more productive and work more efficiently. So thank you for joining us today. We are going to take a look into AI, and hopefully I can give you a better understanding and explain why and how we should be investing in this new technology. Everybody seems to be talking about AI, and it can feel quite overwhelming at times. So today I'm going to cover the basics and hopefully give you a better understanding. So we're going to cover what generative AI is, why we should be investing in it, why we need to adopt this new technology, brief introduction into some AI tools, and then cover bias and concerns. So I want to start by just going back to basics and just explaining what generative AI actually is. So generative AI is AI that can create something that previously a human could. So text, images, videos, or music. It's able to create a story, a social media post, an article, a report, or a plan entirely from scratch based on the information that you give it. It can generate completely unique images that no one has ever seen before. And the way that it does this is by drawing on vast amounts of data. It reads millions of articles and books and looks at millions of pictures and images to create the output that you've requested. So you've probably heard of predictive AI and generative AI, but what is the difference? So we start with predictive AI. Imagine you're playing a game and you're trying to guess what's going to happen next based on the things that you already know. And that's exactly what predictive AI does. It looks at information from the past, like what you've done before, what you've bought before, and it will make a guess about what might happen in the future. So for instance, if you've been watching superhero movies, it might predict that you want to watch another superhero movie. Or if you've bought a certain brand of trainers, it might predict that you want to buy a similar pair next time. In terms of generative AI, that's AI that creates new things. So like writing a story, drawing a picture, or even making music. Generative AI doesn't guess what happens. It makes something new that didn't exist before. So you could ask it to write a funny story and it'll go off and create a brand new story for you based on what it's learned from other stories. So to summarize, predictive AI guesses what will happen and generative AI makes something new. Okay, so today I kind of want to go over why it's important to be investing in AI, especially for small businesses. It's all about making daily operations run more smoothly, improving customer experience, and helping businesses grow. AI makes things fairer. For small businesses, they can often feel like they're up against the bigger corporations, the bigger chains, but with AI, you can compete more easily. There's so many more affordable AI tools on the market to help automate tasks, boost marketing efforts, and create a great customer experience without needing a huge, massive budget. AI can take over routine tasks like data entry, scheduling, and even customer support, freeing up time. So you could use AI to create a powered chatbot to provide 24/7 customer service. It will help your business run more smoothly without the need for extra staff. And it can also help with managing stock levels, cutting down on waste, and saving you money. Marketing can be tricky and expensive, and not all companies have the budget to employ a marketing agent or a PR consultant. And this is where AI really, really is a game changer, because it can help you reach the right people with the right message exactly when they need to hear it. With tools like Google and Facebook ads, you can automatically optimize campaigns, and the AI insights will help you better understand your customers, leading to more meaningful connections and loyalty. It's able to process lots and lots of data really quickly. It can give you clear insights to help guide those important decisions, whether that's setting the right price, forecasting sales, or improving the supply chain. So it will help you make smarter, more informed choices. Following on from that, customers we all want everything now. As customers, we want things now, quick and easy, and AI can help with that. And it can create a quick and easy personalized service. Chatbots, virtual assistants can handle questions, help customers, they can create a smoother experience. And AI can also recommend products based on what customers have liked or enjoyed before, increasing sales and marketing efforts. As a small business grows, keeping everything running smoothly can be really hard. And this is where you can use AI to help run things smoother in terms of customer service, marketing, advertising, stock management, so that you don't need to add staff. You can grow without the stresses of a growing budget of employing staff to do those tasks. And I think it's important to say as well that if you want to remain competitive, you need to adopt AI. It's not just a trend. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay, and it's changing how small businesses work. Small businesses that embrace AI will be able to run more efficiently, keep more customers happy, and stay ahead of the competition. I think it's important to say that investing in AI means smoother operations, smarter decisions, and more personalised customer experiences. And now is a great time to embrace that AI. There's so many AI tools on the market at such reasonable cost. And there's also some really good free tools out there as well. So we've talked about why it's important to invest. And now I want to take a look at what failure to adopt AI might look like. And I just want to start off by saying AI is not here to take our jobs. It's not here to replace humans. There will always need to be a human layer. And I like to use a sandwich analogy in that the first slice of bread is the human, the filling is AI, and then the bread on top is the human layer. AI will enhance our skills, helping us make better use of our knowledge and expertise, but it can only do what we tell it or ask it to do. By adopting it, we'll save time, boost productivity, and free up time for the more strategic, meaningful work. So I think it's fair to say that in today's fast-paced world, businesses that don't adopt AI are going to risk falling behind. Companies using AI can automate tasks, improve customer experiences, and make smarter decisions based on data. Without it, we'll struggle to keep up with competitors who are using AI to work more efficiently, offering personalised services and predict market trends. AI tools can help businesses streamline their operations, save time and money. Repetitive tasks like data entry, customer support, and inventory management can all be automated, which means fewer manual processes and less time spent on those basic tasks. Businesses that don't adopt AI may end up spending more on staff and resources to do what AI can handle faster and more efficiently. We as humans and business owners generate huge amounts of data every day, and AI can really quickly make sense of it. And by using AI tools to analyse this data, it will help businesses make better decisions, understand customer needs, and spot future trends. Without AI, you risk missing out on valuable insights and making decisions based on outdated or incomplete information. And again, AI massively improves the customer experience, and it will provide tools that can analyse customer data, offer recommendations, and even provide 24/7 support through chatbots and virtual assistants. And without it, businesses will struggle to meet those expectations, lead to a slower service, and potentially lose customers to competitors who can provide a better, faster customer experience. In terms of attracting top talent, the future workforce wants to work with cutting-edge technology like AI. And by adopting it, you can attract and retain talent who want to use the latest tools to be more productive and creative. Businesses that ignore AI may struggle to keep their employees engaged, which leads to higher turnover. So I think in conclusion, it's fair to say that AI isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's crucial for staying competitive, and businesses that embrace AI will be better positioned to innovate, reduce costs, and provide excellent customer service to those that don't risk falling behind. What I've done here is tried to use a real life example in terms of how AI could help an independent business. So if we take, say, an independently owned coffee shop on a high street, typically faces competition from large chains while striving to maintain its unique appeal and personalised customer experience. Such a business needs to balance delivering exceptional service with operational efficiency, and all while managing costs. A coffee shop, for instance, that embraced AI could help with customer personalisation recommendation, inventory management, smart pricing and promotion, improved customer service, AI-driven marketing, smart energy management, staff scheduling, and customer feedback. I think, well, how is AI going to be able to help with that? So they could adopt an AI-driven loyalty app that tracks customer purchase histories, preferences, and even dietary requirements. For instance, if someone had a preference for soy milk, decaf, or even specific seasonal drinks, AI would be able to analyse customer data to provide a personalised offer. Say, for instance, the customer who frequently buys lattes might receive a special offer on a new seasonal flavoured offer of latte, or personalised discounts based on their typical purchasing patterns. An AI chatbot could be integrated into the coffee shop's mobile app or social media channels to take pre-orders, saving customers time by suggesting their usual order for pickup. AI can be used for predictive sales to monitor sales trends and predict which ingredients or products are needed more often. So, for instance, a predictive AI tool could look at past sales and predict how much milk, coffee beans, syrups, or pastries are likely to be consumed, which would help the owners avoid overstocking and understocking. And by using machine learning models, they could analyse data on product sales, expiration dates, customer trends, and the coffee shop would be able to reduce waste by better estimating the demand for perishable items such as pastries or milk alternatives. AI can also help adjust pricing based on the time of day, demand, stock levels. For instance, during slow periods in the afternoon, the coffee shop could look at an AI-generated flash discounts or a promotion to attract customers to come in. It could also test and track the success of different types of promotions like happy hours, buy one, get one free, and suggest which promotions drive the most customer traffic. Similar to major chains, a coffee shop could implement a self-service AI-powered kiosk that takes orders, reducing waiting times for customers, especially during peak hours. And the kiosk could also ask if customers wanted to add a pastry or something to their order as well. So all of these things can be implemented relatively easily and relatively low cost. I think by adopting AI, it can empower small businesses like the coffee shop to remain competitive, improve operational efficiency, and offer a more personalised customer experience. And there are so many simple, affordable AI tools that could make a significant difference in managing these day-to-day challenges. I just want to leave this slide by saying that the image and the logo generated were both generated using AI tools. This coffee shop doesn't exist. It's not real. It was generated using Leonardo AI. Some of you might be able to tell by the number of hanging plants in there. I think there's a significant amount of hanging plants. But it's just an example of what tools are around to be able to enhance business efficiency. So, as mentioned, there are hundreds of AI tools to choose from, and there seems to be more and more coming onto the market on a daily basis. The ones that are featured in this slide are the ones that I feel are best suited to small businesses, which they're either free or have really low monthly costs. In terms of which AI tool is best for you and your business, that needs to be aligned to your business objectives and your goals. My business is marketing and PR, and I feel my top three are probably ChatGPT, Canva, and Claude. Again, they're all phenomenal, and they all do such wonderful things, but you just need to determine whether it's marketing, sales, productivity. What do you want your tool to do, for who and why? Right, so we can't really talk about AI without talking about the darker side of the coin. There are bias and there are concerns when it comes to using tools. And adoption of any new tool, we need to be aware of ethical concerns and risks. I think as AI becomes part of everyday operations, it raises issues about privacy, bias, transparency, and accountability. And here on this slide are probably the main areas that we need to watch out for. In terms of data privacy and security, AI systems and large language models are trained on large data sets, which can include sensitive and personal information. And we need to ensure that we comply with privacy laws like GDPR to protect users. So it's crucial to ensure that the data collected is collected responsibly and kept secure to avoid breaches. AI systems can sometimes inherit biases because they're trained on human data, and there's always going to be human bias, and they could lead to unfair outcomes in areas like recruitment, customer service, or marketing. So to prevent discrimination, businesses should regularly assess their AI tools for fairness. AI can also be a bit of a black box and make decisions that are hard to understand. So as users, we need to explain how AI tools work, especially if they're impacting customer decisions. And without clear communication, both customers and employees might start to distrust the AI systems and lead to harming company reputation. There's also the fear around job displacement, and AI can automate tasks which might result in job losses, particularly roles involving routine work like data entry and customer service. And I think it's important to get that message across that companies should invest in upskilling and retraining workers to help them adapt the new roles created by AI. And ignoring the human impact could lead to increased inequality and resentment from employees. We don't want that. We want to embrace it. We want to learn from it. And we just need to use it to support people in their jobs. We've all heard the term deep fakes. AI can and does hallucinate, and it does create realistic but misleading content. It can also be used in manipulative ways and target vulnerable groups. And I think there's a misuse of AI for deceptive purposes that does lead to the public distrust in business and institutions. it's just really important to remember that if you are using AI, you need to be transparent and open about its use. It's a great tool. It presents great opportunities, but we need to approach it responsibly. We need to make sure that we've addressed privacy, bias, and accountability concerns, and maintain that ethical standard and trust. So, to summarise, AI is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We need to use it responsibly and with transparency. We need to educate ourselves and educate our teams and address any concerns that people have about it taking or displacing jobs, and maybe present it as a helpful tool or virtual assistant or even an office junior that can help augment your work. And I always like to say to people who are new to AI won't take your job, but a human who has adopted AI might. That's it from me. Jeff, shall I hand
Brilliant,
back?
thank you, Laura. That's really great. So if you can unshare the presentation, and then what we'll do is so that was really interesting, a really insightful summary into AI, and I think I think thinking about anyone that is part of an ED team within a local authority, this perspective of how it's going to be useful for businesses, I think, is really interesting, because from a support perspective, that the local authorities will absolutely want to be supporting businesses on AI, because of the competitiveness, and also it engages businesses. I think that we all know that engaging businesses as a local authority can be a real challenge. So thank you very much indeed. Obviously, we have a Q&A button, which anyone that's on the webinar can submit questions, and what we'll do is that we'll then run through them. What I'm going to do first, actually, is I've got a couple of questions which I wanted to just run through with Laura and put Laura on the spot and so forth. So I suppose the first question is I think that thinking about the businesses that we support through local authorities, and that many of the participants who will know well. There's a kind of range of technical ability from those that are software developers through to the technophobes who probably struggle to operate WhatsApp or a phone or anything like that. I wanted to ask, actually, what's your technical background? Do you do anything? Are you involved in any coding with AI? Has that and has your technical position stopped you doing anything within AI? I'm really interested in that.
Absolutely not. I am far from being technical savvy. I am terrible with remote controls, new programs on the computer. I think from my point of view, as a non-technical person and the owner of a consultancy, I wanted to see how AI adoption could increase my productivity and efficiency. Everywhere I turned, I was hearing AI this, AI that, ChatGPT is the next big thing. I just thought, I need to future-proof here, and adoption of AI is part of this process. So that's when I decided to register with the Chartered Institute of Marketing and take my AI specialist qualification. But in terms of practicalities, just going on to the programs and playing around and asking it to do things was how I learnt. I don't know anything about coding whatsoever, and I don't need to, because AI makes it really easy. If you know the outcome, what you want from a particular tool, it's really user friendly, and I just try and simplify everything. So no, I'm not technical whatsoever.
Well, that and I think that that's definitely good to hear because you know we know you know I think probably 80% of the businesses that we're supporting through our clients, and I suspect that you know it's the same for any local authority, are not necessarily that technically minded, and so therefore knowing that they can access the tools and you know not need to code, I think is good. So,
Oh,
so just thinking about, you know, about how you would work with a business that perhaps, you know, has kind of come to you and said, right, you know, I've got no idea what this AI is. You know, I'm a photography studio. What would be the first couple of steps that you take them through in terms of if you were mentoring or advising them around kind of how they could implement AI into their kind of working practices?
so I think taking a photographer, for instance, because I always say there's an AI tool for every creative or every business out there. So a photographer would need image-led AI. So it would be defining those goals, whether they've had any exposure to AI at all. And I think demystifying first and educating, and also learning how to prompt. We hear this phrase prompting, and it's the fundamental tool to be able to use AI properly, because if you put rubbish into an AI tool, you'll get rubbish out. And when you've learnt to prompt properly, you'll get a, the the difference between the outcome that you'll get is night and day. And so it would be a prompting masterclass, an introduction to specific AI tools that would be relevant for that sector or industry or job function. And then deep diving into it and using, you know, worksheets and presentations to take them through step by step, and just, you know, eliminating the fear around using the AI tool.
Got it. Okay. No, I think that's interesting. And actually, so just talking about the prompting and going on to, you know, going on to that, because I think that's worth outlining, because I suspect that there will be some people that will understand about prompting, but you know, so take for example ChatGPT, which is probably the best known of the AI tools out there. What is a prompt? What you know, how does somebody go in and prompt ChatGPT to create, you know, a blog post or a you know, social media? What do they actually have to do?
So when you open up ChatGPT, you'll have a little sort of search bar where you start typing in. And I always like to give it a character, give it some clarity, and give it some context. So, for instance, you could tell it to act as a marketing consultant who needs to develop a content marketing plan, and we need 3 ideas from that plan. So you're telling it who to be, what you want, and why you want it. And ChatGPT will then go off and search through millions and millions of pages of content plans and marketing consultants, and then come back with some useful information. And I always say, don't take the first answer, push the system to come back with something else, refine it, tell it you don't want it in that tone. You can also upload a list of words that you don't want it to include, and never copy and paste it and send it off. You always have to refine it. You always need that human layer to edit it. So I think always use that 3C framework.
Got it. Okay. No, I think that's really clear, and I think, it was definitely, I thought it was really interesting that, take, for example, your AI generated cafe.
Mhm.
That gave a really nice view of it, but it feels like, whilst it may come up with the logo concept, actually, you're probably going to get that into turn that into something that can then be used. You might have to use that as a concept which you then give to a designer that then develops it and so forth. So, it's not a case of that AI is going to just take over. It's a case that it helps you to develop concepts, and it takes you a few steps along the road.
Yeah, it just enhances what's there already. And you have to give it the basics.
Okay, and so I think that prompts in the final question for me, and then I'll pick up some of the questions that have been asked. But I suppose one of the real challenges, particularly for businesses where it's an owner operator, the owner operator is working in the business and delivering a service, whether that's operating a coffee shop or so forth. So can you get the AI tool or an AI tool to create maybe like a week of social media posts? And can you then get that AI tool to upload them, or do you have to upload them manually? What would be the steps going through? That's obviously a very generic, whether it's a coffee shop, whether it's a photography studio, whether it's a gardener. What would be the steps to do that, so that you're then kind of creating a lot of content for your social media?
In short, yes, definitely. It can create as many social media posts, blog posts, articles that you. So if you opened up GPT and gave it some information and said, "This is my business. This is what we want to push this week. Create 5 social media posts for use on LinkedIn to promote blah blah blah." It'll come back and do that within seconds. Then you would refine it, make sure that it doesn't sound like ChatGPT generated it, and then you could use LinkedIn to schedule the posts that week. There is a function within the social media tools to allow you to schedule posts by date and by time. So Sunday afternoon, you could ask it to generate your posts. You could then go onto LinkedIn, schedule them. You don't need to touch it again. It's done, dusted within half an hour. So that would save a business owner so much time within the week, that they can just concentrate on running the business. They don't have to worry about the socials, the marketing side. It's done for them.
Got it. Okay. And I think if I play that back to some of the issues that we see across all of the local authority clients and across all the businesses, probably one of the big ones is that businesses are not actually communicating enough. They're not putting out enough communications. And the thing is if you ask them why, they'll say, look, we don't have the time, we can't afford to pay for an expensive marketing consultant. And so, what this does is that this actually provides you with a either free or very low cost tool to be able to start to do that, and more marketing will effectively then lead to the business growing and building on the back of that.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, it is. I always like to say to use the analogy of AI being an office junior, because it just does all of those daily mundane tasks that takes such a lot of time out of the working day, and it just runs with them, and you don't have to worry about it. It is so helpful.
And as soon as we can get it to the point of making really great coffee, then
Yeah.
we're really winning. So
We're winning.
um,
Yeah.
So we'll get onto some of the questions just in terms of from some of the participants. But what I also wanted to just highlight is just a little bit of details around the Smart Society AI program for local authorities. So this is the program that we've launched, and this is for really any economic development professional out there who's thinking about commissioning either unspent funds from UK SPF through to the end of March, or alternatively thinking through to what the programme of activity is going to be next year, obviously subject to what's happening with the funding, which we will hopefully hear about later this month. And so the programme that we've come up with is really about helping businesses to adopt this really kind of exciting suite of tools. And I think hopefully kind of listening to what Laura said, we've gone through a number of the use cases, and this is something that actually will help businesses to grow. We know that the issues that businesses have is that they can't afford marketing, or they don't have time to do marketing. This is a way of helping them to do that and helping the business to grow. And so the programs that we've got, they're fairly configurable, but what we would do is to look to run a series of training courses, and these can either be physical, or they can be virtual, or they can be hybrid, so that we do a physical workshop that's then broadcast out over Zoom or Teams. And then we back that up with some mentoring, and that's one-to-one mentoring, and that's really about helping businesses who either have been selected or who've applied for the program to look to take them through the adoption of certain tools and help them get to the point of being able to utilize these. I think that's a really really key point. And then what we also have is we've got these really nice worksheets. And these are really simple sheets which go through perhaps either a particular AI tool or a particular area of perhaps how to generate content using AI. They can be branded up with the local authority logo, and this is a really great way of providing something that actually you can share on your social media, so you can share that out to people, and it's a way of engaging with businesses. This is probably one of the areas which local authorities can actually engage with businesses that generally will not engage with local authority business support. And we know that, looking at the stats, that most local authorities will be able to engage from a business support perspective with between 5 and 10% of the businesses within their local area. So this is a really good way of having an opportunity to start to engage with businesses and start to grow those databases, grow that engagement, and those worksheets I think are really popular. So if you want to have a discussion and talk a little bit about how you can look to integrate AI within your program, either for this financial year or thinking about next financial year, then drop us an email. So our email is hello@smartsociety.org. And what we can do is we can arrange for a chat to sit down, and just talk through elements of programs, and how they could fit within the sort of business support that you've got. And we're definitely seeing now that certainly all of the clients that we are working with are either they're putting some AI support into this year's delivery, but certainly next year every single one of them has got AI as a component for the delivery next year. And I think that that's a really it's a really kind of interesting kind of point around this, that businesses are wanting this. And we've not seen interest in a particular area probably since the kind of launch of the social media and the impact around this. And I think that AI is going to be something similar to that. So so it's really interesting. And so if you have any questions, we'd be really happy to do that. So just wanted to get on to a couple of the questions. So the first question was asking, will there be a replay of this webinar? So what we plan to do is we plan to put this out on as a video. We will absolutely be running another one of our webinars. So the next one is planned for January. We'll be looking at how businesses can engage how local authorities can engage with businesses that don't normally engage with local authorities. So that's our next subject. But I think, you know, AI is going to be a feature of that, and we absolutely will be looking at AI within these webinars at some point next year. So we'll definitely be doing that. So I think one of the other areas, which is definitely an interesting one, and I'll sort of put Laura on the spot here, and then also just think through. So we've had a question through saying, you know, really interesting to hear about how businesses can use AI. So just wanted to understand whether there are any examples of how local authorities can use AI in their working practices. So Laura, what is there any AI tools that you think that local authorities could use, any sort of specific AI tools that would be of use to them?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I mean, there's Microsoft Copilot, which is a virtual assistant essentially for scheduling appointments, meetings. Otter AI, I think, is also a good one. And then the implementation of chatbots. So if people have got questions for specific departments of local authorities, that's an area that AI could be adopted to help. And in terms of kind of deeper dives into it, then I'm sure that there are probably more specific tools that would spread the net further. But essentially, yes. I mean, if I probably could look into that and get back to you in a bit more detail, looking at what all local authorities have utilised already. I think Jasper is also a good tool. But essentially, we can get some examples over to Becky if needed.
Definitely. So I think that to kind of follow on from that, and you know, thinking about the use case from a business support perspective. So I think one of the challenges that local authorities have is that they, particularly when they commission programs, they'll commission a business support program, and that will deliver some great outputs. There may well be a gap in funding, so that there'll be that, you know, whilst the local authority may well have a business support page that they can put in there, that they might not necessarily have any programs. And I think that an AI chatbot is a really great opportunity here to kind of almost act as a filler between different programs, so that the local authority can effectively configure the chatbot. And you know, and this is not a coding activity. This is somebody who doesn't have technical capability, sort of inputting stuff into the chatbot. And it's really about you know, helping the chatbot to is a chatbot that can signpost businesses to other local areas of support, which is something that economic development departments do. The chatbot is something that can direct the businesses to materials and videos that have been generated from previous support programs. So I think that that's a really interesting area, because I think that that's one of the challenges that local authorities have, is kind of how you keep the business engaged, and so forth. So really interesting question there from Becky. Thank you for that. You know, and hopefully that gives you some ideas for that. So super. Okay, so we're just about coming up to time. So thank you very much indeed to Laura. A really interesting presentation, really interesting insight into something that I think, you know, everyone's heard about, but you know, lots of people don't really kind of feel confident around it. So hopefully, I think it will give you a bit of inspiration to go off and have a go with one of the tools. There's lots of free trials out there. So you know, just going in and getting ChatGPT to write something, I think, you know, it probably is one of the most exciting things that you will do today if you do that, because seeing it develop that is pretty amazing. Again, if you've got any questions about programs, drop us a line at hello@smartsociety.org, and we'll come back to you, and we can certainly help you look at the design of any business support programs and scopes of work that you're looking at. We've got some really good standardized stuff which may be able to help you go through the thought process with that. And we will keep you abreast. So please follow us on all of our socials. We'll keep you abreast of any webinars that we're doing. And other than that, thank you for attending, and we look forward to seeing you again.